What's going on? How's everyone doing?
Shout out to Colin. Everybody else who's cool with Colin.
Chunky! I didn't say.
Eat your popcorn and your Coca-Cola and relax.
Anyway, tell Colin I'm ready.
What's going on? This is Colin. How's everybody doing? I hope you're having a great day so far. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Hopefully you guys had a great weekend. I don't know what else to say. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. I'm wearing my dad shirt. Yeah, let's go. Wearing my dad shirt. All right. This is the case that you guys didn't ask for. This is the case that we did the sentencing for on Friday, and I thought I played this, but I didn't. So we're gonna play it now. That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing tonight. It's gonna be a little bit of a longer one. That's all I got. That's all I got for an intro. Yay! Happy Father's Day. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. There we go. That's the one I wanted to click on. All right. Yay! Yay! All the fathers out there. Thank you. Happy Father's Day. All right. That's all I got. That's all I got for an intro. So you just want to watch them court? Let's watch them court. Before I hit that play button, you know what to do. Hit the like and subscribe. Do your jump kick backflips. Let's go.
This is docket 24489FH, People of the State of Michigan versus Michael Shannon Doherty. This is an evidentiary hearing. Counsel, your appearance for the record.
Wait a second. Wait a second. Legal Fiction's already gifted 20 memberships. Thank you, Legal Fiction. Appreciate it, bud. Appreciate it. Welcome to the 20 new members. That is awesome. That is awesome. Legal Fiction, you are a legend. Thank you so much for your generosity. Thank you. Go check out his channel, by the way. He's got a great channel.
Thank you, Your Honor. Randall Berman on behalf of the people. I'm seated at the council table with Michigan Department of Corrections Probation Agent Gale.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Toby White. I'm here on half a voice on behalf of Mr. Doherty. He's with me at the council table.
Thank you. Sir, please raise your right hand. You swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide to be the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth under penalty of perjury?
I do, Your Honor.
Thank you. Put your hand down. Have you taken any medication yesterday or today?
Yes, ma'am.
Does that medication help you think more clearly?
Yes, it
And
does.
you've been on it for quite a while now?
Yes, ma'am.
Is there medication you're supposed to be on that you're not on?
No,
Any sign of fever, COVID, or other illness?
no.
And have you had an opportunity to speak with your attorney?
Yes, I have.
And Mr. White,
Yes, ma'am.
do you believe your client is oriented to date, time, and place and does understand what's occurring?
I do, Your Honor. I've had conversations with him recently and today. I do.
Thank you. And this is an evidentiary hearing on behalf of the people. Are you ready to proceed?
Your Honor, yeah, it's on the docket as an evidentiary hearing. It's my motion, it's the people's motion. I call it to accelerate delay of sentence and enter the felony convictions and set matter for sentencing. And if I can explain a little bit by way of history.
Okay.
Might benefit everyone involved. So in August of 2024, we entered into a delayed sentence plea agreement where the defendant pled guilty to 2 of the felony aggravated stalking charges. And if he was successful on his 1 year of delay, they would enter as 2 misdemeanor stalking charges, and he'd ultimately be sentenced on those. In March of 2025, it became apparent that the defendant had, I believe that the defendant had gone off his medication. He had filed a almost 400-page federal complaint suing a litany of federal, state, and local authorities, people involved with the case. And in that filing were harassing exhibits. And so on April.
It helps when I unmute. Yeah, this is the exam that we were watching the sentencing for on Friday. So this is the exam. Everyone thank Phil for this. Thank you, Phil. I thought I played this already. Again, this was this was we're just gonna watch it. That's all I'm gonna say. Yay.
1st of 2025, I did an emergency motion to revoke the defendant's bond. That was set for hearing on April 2nd. Soon after that, on April 1st, the defendant appeared in this building in the probation department purportedly to serve a subpoena for his federal lawsuit. He then was up in my office, at which point in time, the deputies, Ingham County Sheriff's deputies, came up and took him into custody and brought him before your honor. One of the conditions of the delayed release was no contact with Ingham County unless it was court. And I've further explained why I believe that's a violation, but nonetheless, the court, in front of the court, without the court's own eye, revoked bond because he was here. And then ultimately was jailed, and we did a referral for competency, and it wasn't until a few weeks ago that he was restored to competency. So now we're here, and instead of having a show cause for a bond violation or a pretrial service form sent up for your honor, because it would take me longer to explain to everyone everything that's gone on. It was easier for me just to do it. So I just did it as a motion to accelerate the 1-year delay. And I'm just asking the court after the hearing today to enter the 2 felony convictions. I have a total of 6, maybe 7 witnesses. 5 of them are the victims involved in the case who will testify to the harassing nature of the filing that was done. And so I'm going to go a little bit out of order because of the time of the day. Not all of them are in the area, and I'd like to get them in and out of here if I could. So that's how I plan to proceed. It's not really an opening statement, but I felt it best that everyone understand where we are. That's my motion to accelerate the delay of sentence. And ultimately, I'm just asking the court to enter the 2 felony convictions. The court has already set a sentencing date in June. And at that point, probation can once again try to do the PSIR, and we can come back for the sentencing.
Mr. White, are you in agreement with proceeding like this, or are you and your client in agreement with just simply entering the 2 felony convictions, or what is your position on all of this?
Thank you, Your Honor. No, we're not in agreement with entering those as 2 felonies. I think that what is indisputable is we know that Mr. Doherty had a cognitive breakdown. That is why he was in the forensic center to begin with. We know that after several months, he was able to be restored to competency. And at that point in time, he was released to go to Charlevoix, where his parents lived. He went to Charlevoix. When he was in Charlevoix, he worked with a doctor, the family doctor. That might not have been the best choice, but he went to the family doctor. And he also was involved in counseling. Now, during that period of time, prior to April 1st and March 28th, the late spring dates that were referred to by Mr. Berman, he did go off his medication. However, he did it in consultation with his doctor. So that was a mistake. The medication he was put on was a mistake too. It's taken quite a while for them to stabilize and realize that he needed different medication. But due to the fact of his incompetence, I think it is harsh and inappropriate for this court to find that he violated his probation terms because he didn't. And at the appropriate time, I can go through these. And if you look at the actual order itself, and if you look at the allegations for this motion, they don't hold up. He was incompetent, and thus being incompetent, he's not making these arguments about, well, I had a legal lawsuit, I had a right to be in the building. All right, that was all done when he was on a psychotic break. He's making the argument that he's been stabilized, and if we get to it at some point, the people at the forensic center believe that he's completely different from what he was the first time around. And on a side note, they want the bed because they think he should be released up to Charlevoix under appropriate psychiatric care and medical care. And when you put all that together, this should be in probate court. This is a mental issue that he's having. And so I know we're here and I know you can deal with it and I know you've dealt with it in the past. But what I'm saying is what we're trying to do is rehabilitate them. And it looks like the rehabilitation process is working. And the last thing I'll say before I sit down is that I've been before you how many times? And people have, this is kind of the inverse. It's usually people that, like the previous gentleman, that can't get off of drugs. And he is the inverse. He wasn't happy with his medications. He consulted with his doctor. The doctor, supported him in getting off his medications. And then the federal lawsuit drops on everybody, making it a mess. So that's my position, is that we should proceed to the misdemeanors.
Understand.
All right, before the judge talks, I'm gonna completely derail the conversation here. I've got something to say. Hold on. There we go. You guys can see me. I have been. I want to do this in my intro, but I need a minute. I need a minute to kind of collect myself. I still need another minute. I need another minute. Sorry, guys. I've got an important message, but I gotta think about how I'm gonna say it.
All of this. Has anybody petitioned the probate court to assist him when he has these bouts?
No, should have been done. As you know, I was off the case during the bulk of this period of time.
Yes, but I also know this has been going on a long time, so let's proceed, see where we're at. It is concerning that no one's taken that next step to probate court, because that's where we're headed, unless at some point he goes off his medicine again and he ends up in prison. I mean, it becomes limited and limited. I have a box of papers that were found, a box of pleadings. I mean, clearly this case cries for help, but now we have to figure out where we are with this, but somebody needs to petition probate court.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
I agree. Thank you.
Counsel, you may proceed.
Thank you. I dispute some of the things that Mr. White said. It might be easier if we could turn the Elmo on.
All right.
And
Do you need help doing that, or? We're good, okay.
so, Your Honor, just for everyone,
All right, I'm good. I'm good. I need to say this. I absolutely need to say this. I was very frustrated over the weekend and early last week. All last week. All last week I was very frustrated. I became close with another YouTuber that I didn't think I liked. He kind of gave me the same treatment Lone Wolf did, where I wasn't friends with him at first, but then once I started talking with him, yeah, no, this is a good dude. I'm not. For those of you that don't know, Old Squishy Gardner hasn't posted a video in 2 weeks, and I started reaching out to everyone that could possibly know, like, what's going on, and I did that early. I'm gonna say after about 3 days of him not posting a video, that's not normal. And I got into a giant fight with another creator, a big fight. It lasted a long time. The entire evening, just because I asked if they knew how to contact OSG, and this person just went off on me, and it made me completely understand how YouTube works. It did. And I want to apologize to everybody for my frustration on Friday night and kind of how I acted last week. It's important for me to apologize because I treated you guys poorly. I really did. So it's important for me to apologize. You guys might say like, "Oh, it's no big deal, whatever," but it's important for me. But this person, all I asked them was, "Have you heard from OSG? Can you please, if there's anything?" And this person immediately read, "Oh, OSG hates me. Why would you reach out to me?" And then turn it into a fight. It's like, okay, well, if this wasn't about you, it wasn't about you, my dude. This was about OSG, and this person's been on LawTube for as long as I can remember, and it was bad, and not just bad, but this person attacked me pretty hard, and I didn't feel good about it. I still don't feel good about it. Like I'm here, you know, and I still feel guilty about everything he says because what he said was true, but not the way that he thought it would. He- Hmm. I'm just telling you guys this. Law Talk with Mike, if you're listening, I will never stop respecting you, but you're a terrible person. You can quote that. I had to say that. I really did. How you turn me asking about another law tuber into a fight and you start calling me an e-bagger right off the bat. Right off the bat. Oh, OSG hates me. Why you reach out to me, you e-bagger? Like, okay, okay, dude. All right. But it's been in my head. It's been in my head, and I really need to say that publicly. That's all I'm gonna say. I could say a lot more, but that's all I'm gonna say. For everyone who supports him, great. Do your thing. He's the reason I have a channel. Doesn't mean I have to like the guy. I need to say that. All right, let's watch this.
Involved. The first set of testimony I wish to take is gonna refer to the exhibit 5 attached to my motion, which is exhibits that I pulled from the federal filing that pertain to the victims who were protected parties under this court's order. I'm not alleging that the defendant had contact with them. They never got served with the lawsuit. They did find out about it, and as we're about to learn, the court may or may not determine that what was filed and alleged against them was harassing, which is a violation of this court's order, one of my other exhibits. So it's.
All right, I am really sorry. OSG is actually okay. I need to say that I did not. OSG. I've heard that OSG is actually okay. He's gonna be back. Well, I actually don't know if he's gonna be back or not. I have heard through the grapevine that OSG is okay. So I can't wait for him to be back. I've become friends with OSG. He's a weirdo like me. That's all I'm gonna say. But OSG is actually he didn't pass away, and that's what I was worried about. That's why I was reaching out to everybody. So hopefully we'll see a video from him soon. I'm hoping tomorrow because tomorrow's Monday. I'm not going to go into the details that I've learned because it's not my information to tell. He might, I don't know, but OSG is okay. OSG is fine. Well, he's not. You know what I mean.
Exhibit 5, Your Honor, attached to my motion. If you can look at the top of it, you'll see that it has all the federal court stamping, verifying that it is what it is. And for everyone following, the page numbers I'm referring the witnesses to will be at the bottom right corner of the document. And with that, the people's first witness would be John Polderman.
Thank you. Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide will be the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth, and the penalty of perjury?
I do.
Thank you. Put your hand down. When you are comfortable, pull the chair right up to the microphone. When you're comfortable, please state and spell your name for the record, so that a little bit farther, and then you can bend that if you need to.
For the record, Your Honor, I just spoke to Mr. White and voluntarily sequestered my lay witnesses. Obviously, Ms. Gale from probation is assisting me. There's another probation officer from up north who's supervising the defendant that is on Zoom.
Okay.
I'm not sure I need to call him, but we'll get to that. Sir, state your name and spell it for the record, please.
John Polderman, John Polder, M-A-N.
And where were you employed in March of 2025?
I was at Stevenson and Bullock, or am at Stevenson and Bullock.
Is that your current employer?
It is.
Prior to that, where were you employed?
Simon PLC,
And what is Simon PLC?
a law firm.
And are you in fact a lawyer?
I am.
Did you have occasion to be involved with Michael Doherty and or his business?
It did.
And in what capacity?
Court appointed receiver,
And what judge appointed you to be a receiver?
Judge Dragonchuck.
Based upon your receivership duties, did you oversee a business related to Mr. Doherty?
Yes,
What business was that?
Rebel Industries.
And without going into the specifics of the receivership or that lawsuit, at some point in time, you became, I guess we could say the victim now because he's been convicted of something, of a bunch of texts and harassing emails, so to speak.
Yes,
Okay. And then in March of 2025, were you aware of a federal lawsuit that was filed by Mr. Doherty?
I was.
And how were you made aware of that?
Several people contacted me, letting me know that there was a federal filing.
And as an attorney, do you have access to what's called the PACER system?
I do.
What is the PACER system?
It's the
Thank you, German Joe. I appreciate that. I do. I've had a hard week. Like I said, I thought OSU passed away. I really did. And I had a hard week. I was reaching out to everybody and anyone. I know Mike doesn't like me, which is fine. He doesn't have to like me. But when I reached out to him, he, like I said, I reached out to him about OSG and he went off on me about why he doesn't like me. I'm like, okay, you don't have to like my channel, man. You don't. I don't know why you're throwing me under the bus like this when I just asked about OSG. And yeah, it turned it was ugly. It was ugly. But like I said, and a couple people have said this in the chat. OSG, he has not passed away. He's going through some health issues, which is, it's what happens. But I'm gonna say this, and this might be my first T-shirt that I make. Fuck Mike. Like that dude. That dude made it his mission to ruin my week. And all I did was ask if he's heard from OSG. No. I've got so much I want to say, but I'm not going to personally. But that's what I'll leave it at. Maybe that's gonna be my first shirt. My first actual merch that I do. That dude needs help. Like, yeah, I don't get it. I really don't. But German Joe, thank you for the super chat.
federal court filing system that allows you to access documents that have been filed.
If you're aware, do you have to be an attorney to have a PACER account?
I don't believe so. But you do need a password and a login.
But if anyone were to search your name in PACER, it would come up as a defendant in this case, would it not?
It would,
And they would see the allegations that were made against you by Mr. Doherty?
yes.
Your Honor, if I may approach the witness with a copy of Exhibit 5 so we can go through that.
You may.
I did show that to Mr. White. Mr. Polderman, I'm going to ask to direct your attention You have a copy, Your Honor? File. I'll put it on the Elmo, that's fine.
Thank you. Yeah, the Elmo would be helpful. Thank you.
Showing you page 4.
It helps if I unmute. It helps if I unmute. Legal fiction, you're awesome. Thank you. We're gonna pass on this subject for the rest of the evening. We're not gonna talk about them. That's not who I am. I just wanted to kind of explain where my head's been for the last week. I know a lot of you have. I've got messages. Um, the comment section, like everything's kind of been like kind of weird over the last week, and I just wanted to explain why. That's it. That's all I wanted to do. So I don't want to spend my life talking about him. I really don't. Um, Legal fiction, you are awesome. We're gonna move on from this. We're gonna watch this video because I did not play this first part, and then I played the sentencing on Fridays. We're gonna watch the exam and watch how all the craziness that this dude did, and then you're gonna realize the sentencing. I know it's backwards, but you guys are awesome. You really are. My entire community is awesome. I want to say that you guys are good. You guys are great. You guys are great.
And I believe, yep, you can see that right on the screen there. Would you just read that part to us, please? Mr. Bolden?
Yes, these guys are smart enough to pass the bar, but not to become real attorneys. The problem is most people don't fully understand what a receiver is, let alone how to regulate one, combined with the negligence and indifference within the system. And you have the perfect breeding ground for these white collar criminals.
And so, while you were the receiver for Rebel under Judge Dragonchuck's order, were there any other receivers involved?
No,
And so one would be easy to presume that when page 4 refers to the receiver and talks about being a white collar.
I've let him go so far, but he's got to stop leading and got to ask questions.
Well, I disagree, Your Honor. This is a bond/sentencing hearing and all the rules are relaxed.
Otherwise, we're never gonna get through this. And you're really addressing a document and using that language to ask a question, so you may proceed.
And so, Mr. Polderman, to your knowledge, were there any other receivers involved in the case?
no,
And so presumably then, would you, in your opinion, did you believe this was about you?
yes,
And do you find that to be harassing, to be called a white collar criminal?
yes.
Turning now to page 5, which would be the next page. I'm going to point your attention to this paragraph that I've made a note, a blue line next to. Can you just read that one, please?
My wife and I have been absolutely terrorized over this the past 3 years by a group of white collar criminals so embedded in the system that it was difficult to tell who was what at times.
And again, any feeling on whether or not you felt harassed by being called a white collar criminal?
Yes, it is harassing.
Turning everyone's attention to page 10. You just read that page for us, please.
The receiver scandal, a story of white collar crime and the negligence and corruption within the system that makes it possible, involving a predatory lender hiring a kill team who specialize in illegally injecting their receiver, using their quote licenses to bypass victims' rights, steal everything they own, and then leave them for dead.
And so, again, harassing to you, being called a white collar or someone involved in white collar crime,
Yes,
and anything reference hiring a kill team.
that's harassing. I find it to be.
Next page just continues. I don't know if there's anything specific to you on that. Page 29, just read the top of that for us, please.
Floyd Gates, John Ruther, John Polderman, 3 individuals who had no business being connected, illegally conspiring together to take over Doherty's company through fraud and racketeering.
And at the top, what's it say?
The kill team.
And are you, and there's a picture, is there not?
There is.
And are you pictured in the document?
It's kind of blurry, and I see
Would it
an
help to
A,
look?
B, and I see a C circled, so I'm certainly not A or B, and I do recognize those to be Floyd Gates and John Ruther. So I guess you can kind of make out C, yeah, that does look like the coat that I own. So yeah, I do believe I'm in that picture. I can see it a little better on the screen there. Yeah, that's me.
Was it harassing to have this filed in a public federal filing accusing you of illegally conspiring together to take over Doherty's company through fraud and racketeering?
Yes,
And to have your picture filed as well?
yes.
This is on page 40. Just read the top one of the 2 lines.
Motive, in-law, this is why one committed the crime, the inducement, reason, or willful desire and purpose behind the commission of an offense. Understand why these guys are fighting with everything they've got yet. That's up to 25 years in prison just on one charge. Floyd Gates, John Ruther, and John Polder will most likely be going to prison for the rest of their lives. They're crafty, but they can't beat the federal government once it awakens.
So once again, when he references you by name here and says that you're going to be going to prison, is that harassing to you?
Yes.
Page 55, you just start reading from the top, please.
Objection, Your Honor. At this point in time, I see Randy has maybe 100 pages there, and I believe this is completely cumulative. We've established the point that the lawsuit was filed. Later, we'll know that he was on a psychotic break when he did it, but more to the point, Mr. Polderman has made it quite clear that reading these things about himself, he felt harassed. He's going to feel the same way when you get to number 75, 76, 88, 90.
Well, but it's his record to make. Right now, I just have a pleading that asserts that. He's attached to like 162 pages, and so I'm going to allow the testimony and you to cross-examine it.
Unless Mr. White wants to stipulate that this is all harassing to the 5 victims. Otherwise, yes, we're going to be here for quite a while going through all these pages.
Let me confer for a minute, Your Honor, if I may.
You may.
So if I may, Your Honor, we will admit the exhibit. We will admit that the nature of them is harassing, but the qualification is we're going to get into this, that this was done by a person who was on a psychotic break.
As long as we're agreeing, then I'm going to ask Mr. Polderman to stand down. I'm going to call the other victims to come in and finish watching the proceeding because it's going to be the same type of things eventually going into the defendant, blaming them for, or blaming some of them for the death of his children. And so with that, I will bring them back in the courtroom and we can proceed. That will expedite things a great deal.
I would like a brief cross.
Okay, get a brief cross and then we'll bring in the other people.
Thank you.
Well, if we're going to go into cross, then I'm going to continue with the rest of the testimony.
All right.
Either we're stipulating to it or we're not. We're stipulating when there's no cross.
That's simply not true. I can stipulate to an exhibit. I can stipulate to the fact that that exhibit has language in it that is harassing. That doesn't mean I don't get to cross-examine it.
Well, you're gonna cross-examine them when I'm done with the rest.
Excuse me, I'm talking to the judge.
Just a minute, if you're stipulating, he's making a record of the harassment, you're stipulating to it, what's there to cross on?
Well, pure and simple. Look, just go. We'll order out Jim. Let him go.
Let's continue now with page 55, Mr. Polderman. Start reading from the top, please.
Meanwhile, Polderman still.
We're stipulating. I told you this is wild. I can't believe I didn't play this before the sentencing on Friday. This is a bizarre hearing. Like, everything is just weird. But you know what? This attorney is still defending his client. Even though the defense attorney was named in the lawsuit, he's still doing this. We learned that in the sentencing. I got nothing else. We're gonna watch this.
Pays himself thousands of dollars a month after sinking the company. Doherty filed official objections to these fees many times based on fraud and negligence, of which Joyce Dragonshire silenced and suppressed without a hearing.
And when it refers to, meanwhile, Polderman still pays himself thousands of dollars a month after sinking the company, is that harassing to you?
It is.
Turn your attention now to page 59. If you could start reading from the top here, please.
Corrupt receiver, AKA their Trojan horse, John Polderman, P65720, master manipulator behind the scenes, specializing in fraud, illegally siphoning the powers of the courts to suppress their victims while they steal everything they own. He's been sniveling and conniving since grade school, fellow classmate of John Polderman's.
Safe to say that that is harassing to you?
Yes.
And can you tell us what the significance is of P65720?
That's my bar number.
And is, just for the record, is there a picture on this page?
There is.
And what is that a picture of? Is that harassing to you?
Yeah, it really takes another step, obviously referencing people that I've gone to high school with, personal photos.
Turn your attention now to page 60. Titled Doherty's Wife. Is your name on this page?
It is.
And it's in reference to what?
It says Polderman trying to contact Mr. Doherty's wife with no legitimate reason for doing so. Doherty has to send him a message saying, John, you are not to contact my wife again in any way. John, you are not to contact my wife again in any way. An example of how outrageous this man is.
Would you have had occasion to contact Mr. Doherty's wife?
I did, because she was in charge of some of the operational sides of the business that I was administering, so I did contact her on occasion.
And so at the bottom where it says an example of how outrageous this man is that harassing to you?
Yes.
The next page is page 61. What's the top of that title?
Show cause, which dragged, silenced, and suppressed.
And then it says motion title. Can you read the rest of that?
Show cause for Mr. John Polderman of Simon PLC as to why he should not be held in criminal contempt for illegally trying to contact defendant's wife multiple times in attempts to harass, manipulate, intimidate when he knew she was represented by counsel.
And then it says see attached, and then I'm not going to ask you to read the rest of it, but it appears, if I'm not incorrect, to be a bunch of cites to various laws.
Correct.
And then it's signed purportedly, we would assume, by Mr. Doherty.
Right.
And is that harassing to you?
Yes, because it says I'm conducting and doing things that are illegal.
Page 62, starting at the top, please, can you read?
Intimidation, Polderman abusing the law once again and trying to intimidate Doherty into giving up his new home address. Previous email specified home address.
And then there's a screenshot and some writing, but if we could just for speed purposes, just go down to where the typing picks back up under the screenshot.
Says after Polderman unlawfully kicked Doherty out of his previous home, CMCL 600.2927, sub 3, shown later, which clearly states no receiver shall be appointed over a person's home address, and yet they did. Anything went in Joyce Dragon Chuck's courtroom. Polderman admitted that out of 500 cases he'd been involved with, this is the first time he'd ever been appointed over a person's home dwelling, probably because it's illegal.
Is that harassing to you?
Yes, because it's simply not true.
Was the home in question here in Mr. Doherty's name or his business's name?
His business's name.
I believe all these are just things that he posts on the internet. But yeah, it kind of looks like it. But the reason, because they're using the Elmo, which I was explained what this thing is. I called it an overhead projector. But yeah, because they're using this Elmo, it looks like, yeah, that's what it looks like. Oh, it's gonna get worse. It's gonna get worse. They love this thing here, apparently, in this courtroom.
The next page is page 64 of Exhibit 5. You can start reading from the top. Oops.
Request for immediate removal, motion title, request for immediate removal of the highly corrupted and biased receiver John Polderman of Simon PLC for cause, including an enormous amount of intentional fraud, gross negligence in waste, sadistic behavior, perjury, theft, conspiring to bypass due process and conflicts of interest. After the appointment was sought wrongfully and in bad faith, the receiver continued with the following: repeated criminal violations under Lara, repeated violation of code of ethics, repeated misconduct according to attorney and judicial codes of conduct, all of which have been reported, repeated violation of criminal behavior according to Michigan law and statutes. The motion submitted, including hundreds of pages of detailed exhibits of evidence, and more follow.
I think we'll get there. Is that harassing to you?
Yes.
Next page is page 65. Start reading from the top, please.
Disqualification notices sent to all 8 Simon PLC locations. Accountability for criminals. Doherty was falsely arrested a week after these arrived by an elaborate scheme concocted once again by the master manipulator John Polderman.
Let's just turn to the paragraph number 2. Please.
Official notice of PPO petition filed against John Polderman of Simon PLC recently with the court as well for continual acts of harassment and aggravated stalking.
Is that harassing to you?
Yes, because it's not true.
Was there an attempt to get a PPO against you?
That is true. So there was a PPO that Mr. Doherty, several PPOs that he tried filing against me that were all denied.
Next one, start reading from the top again, please.
Simon PLC terminates Polderman after receiving notices.
And then
Polderman finds a new company to abuse his victims through.
And I think you've testified that your current employer is different than Simon PLC.
That is correct.
Were you terminated by Simon PLC?
I was not.
And so is this harassing to you?
It is.
Again, just maybe just shorten this up a bit. Would you agree with me that page 68 is information reference to PPO, and in fact, there's a screenshot of it?
Yes.
Is there anywhere that you recall seeing on here, or take your time and read it, that says that it was a PPO that was applied for but was not granted?
It does not say that.
And so is that harassing to you, that it gives the appearance that he was successful, he being Mr. Doherty, in getting a PPO against you?
That is harassing.
Next document is called Motion to Judge Cole. Could you start reading? Reference what's under that title?
Motion to Judge Cole regarding second PPO Doherty files against Polderman with Ingham County.
And again, is there anything in this that you recall referencing that there was a PPO that was applied for but was not granted?
No, it gives the impression that it actually was granted, and I believe it was in association with this. And Mr. Doherty showed up to my office in a disguise, black hat, sunglasses, and asked staff to summon me to come out.
And just so the record's clear, that would have been before March of 2025.
That is true.
And would that have been before August of 2024?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Next page is page 72, weaponizing the color of law. Do you see your name on that page?
I do.
Do you read starting where you see your name?
John Polderman of Simon PLC using color of law to intimidate a witness, continuing to victimize one of his many victims and deprive them of basic civil rights that all United States citizens are guaranteed. Polderman sending law enforcement to the address he illegally obtained based on more intentional fraud.
Is that harassing to you?
Yes.
And then the next page, that was page 72, so it continues on page 73 with second visit.
So showing up twice in one day, intimidating Doherty and his family a great deal, who also received a call from the Enum County Sheriff's Department as well. The Attorney General then sent their own officers to Doherty's home days later for a third visit. Based on the same pattern of fraud from one man, John Polderman, of whom Dragonshut continued to enable.
Is that harassing to you?
Yes.
Page 75, titled Retaliation. John Polderman retaliates. Start reading from there, please.
John Polderman retaliates against Doherty for trying to expose him by orchestrating the filing of false police reports by his core group of accomplices involving 3 ex-employees Doherty had to fire for drug dealing, drug using, and grand theft on the premise, along with the tabloid journalists who have been illegally conspiring with Polderman to write smear campaign articles against Doherty for the last year, none of whom should have been taken serious as credible witnesses.
That's enough. Was that harassing to you?
Yes.
Page 77 is titled Emergency Motion Title. This is an emergency and I need help now. Appears to be addressed to Judge Morgan Cole. I'm just going to ask you to read the large font bold at the bottom.
John Polderman of Simon PLC is mentally unstable and currently unraveling as we speak, making all kinds of desperate moves to try and save himself and his career.
And is obviously being accused of being mentally unstable and unraveling, harassing to you.
Yes.
Page 78 is continuing with the title of the page being They Think They're Invincible. You just read the quote at the bottom of the page.
These men, led and manipulated by John Polderman, just illegally used color of law again to violate my basic civil rights.
And is that harassing to you?
Yes.
There's a document on page 85 entitled SOS from Jail. I'm just going to ask you to read the quote at the bottom.
This is a legitimate SOS of the highest emergency involving a highly sophisticated group of white-collar criminals.
Being called a white-collar criminal, is that harassing to you?
Yes.
Next page is page 102. I have collected an enormous amount of both judicial and attorney misconduct. Looking towards, then there's a screenshot of some kind of writing. You just start reading under that with the quote beginning with my main investor.
And my main investor then hired a team of con artists to come in and act as a turnaround team to help fine tune some things, but were really a highly sophisticated takeout team. There to destroy and take over illegally involving a highly corrupt receiver. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Being called a highly corrupt receiver, is that harassing to you?
Yes.
And being related to a highly sophisticated takeout team, is that harassing to you?
Yes.
Try to speed this up a bit. Starting at page 116. I know you're not necessarily referenced here, but did you see this as part of the lawsuit? Were you familiar with pages like this?
I did read and review the entire lawsuit shortly after it was filed.
And then on page 117, at the top in all bold between the lines, would you just read that part?
The kill team that predatory lender Borish hired consisted of Floyd Gates, CPA John Ruther, and John Polderman of Simon PLC, none of whom were supposed to be connected behind the scenes.
And was that harassing to you?
Yes. So the record's clear, it's harassing.
Your Honor,
because-
there's no question before the witness.
Do you have something else you wish to add to that?
I was gonna say it's harassing because prior to this case, I've actually never worked with Mr. Gates or Mr. Ruther.
Page 118. Just at the bottom, you see your name there. Will you read that paragraph starting with nothing?
Nothing was ever done by any of the parties. Instead, John Polderman of Simon PLC doubled down on orchestrating an elaborate retaliatory scheme to have Doherty unlawfully arrested on 10/20/23 based on more intentional fraud.
Is that harassing to you?
Yes.
Then on page 119, you see your name at the bottom of the page?
They do.
And what does it say underneath your name?
Criminal mastermind.
And then that's page 119, so then beginning at the top of 120. Is that your business address at the top?
It is.
And then it purports, would you agree with me, to some form of allegations for the lawsuit under that, under your phone number?
There are securities fraud, racketeering, torture, white collar crime, it goes on.
Would those things all be harassing to you?
Yes, and in fact, because of this lawsuit, our firm had to make a decision to install extra security.
Turn to page 158. In the middle, starting with Doherty's ex-employees, will you read that part?
Doherty's ex-employees aiding and abetting John Polderman of Simon PLC in multiple acts of harassment, intentional fraud, conspiracy to commit harm, and filing of a false police report. 3 of these ex-employees Doherty had fired for drug dealing, drug use, and grand larceny. Polderman then hired them back and illegally conspired with them to have Doherty falsely arrested on 10/20/23.
And then the next one.
Officially reported to Ingham County and Lansing Police Department multiple times, of whom chose to silence and suppress the information to further protect their own.
And so, and we'll hear from the ex-employees as to whether or not they had stolen from the business. But did you eventually hire some of the ex-employees back while you were the receiver of Rebel?
I did.
And would you have done so had they stolen from Rebel?
No.
Page 168. See your name there in the middle of the page?
I do.
You start reading where it has your name.
John Polderman of Simon PLC convinced Andy Crawford Transnation Title Agency to fraudulently transfer Doherty's property at 5 Locust Lane, Lansing, Michigan 48933, completely bypassing marital property rights or all of the intentional fraud that Doherty had informed her of on 2/17/23, along with disregarding the receivership statute 600.2927 sub 3 that clearly states no receiver shall be appointed over a person's home dwelling.
And was that harassing for you?
Yes.
Page 169. Again, in the middle of the page has your name, John Polderman of Simon PLC. You start reading from there.
John Polderman of Simon PLC was furious when he found out Doherty had communicated with Krupp and informed her of his fraudulent behavior and proceeded to completely fabricate a version of Doherty's meeting with Krupp that never actually took place. Even Ann Krupp confirmed twice in writing that John Polderman's version of what happened on 2/17/23 was completely false, but Joyce Dragonchuck and her law clerk, Michael Lewicki, refused to listen once again. Instead, they used John Polderman's false narrative.
Is that harassing to you?
Yes.
Page 170, towards the top, under the line, John Polderman. We start reading from there for us, please.
John Polderman of Simon PLC convinced Maynard Custarian to violate a court order and intentionally obstruct Doherty's ability to provide tax information to the IRS. Instead of listening to Doherty as he informed them multiple times of the intentional fraud, John Polderman was committing Maynard, blocked Mr. Doherty and cut off all communication with him, intentionally obstructing his ability to provide essential info to the IRS after collecting $150,000 in fees from him.
Is that harassing for you?
Yes.
Is that harassing? Is that harassing? Is that harassing? This is annoying. I don't know how attorneys go through this. I don't. Like what? We're only about halfway through this video. Just so we're all on the same page. We got about another 40 minutes of this. But it is important because you guys saw the sentencing on Friday. It's important, but so much. I couldn't do it. I can't do it.
Summary of allegations, which I would, in my opinion, is not much of a summary since it goes on for many pages. And I'll try to get through it quickly, but I'm going to turn your attention to paragraph 5. Would you read that for us, please? This is on page 190. It might also be on the screen in front of you.
Floyd Gates, John Ruther, and John Polderman had entered Doherty's business on 3/23/22 illegally based on false pretenses.
Is that allegation true?
No.
Kudos to you for not sharing that, though. You're dealing with your own stuff, and you're not. We could have fun with that, and you haven't shared it. I'm not going to ask you to either. Kudos to you, Dan.
We entered the business on that day, but it was not based on false pretenses.
So is that harassing to you?
Yes.
Paragraph 11.
The problem was every time he went further, these people would contact the very professionals he was trying to report, John Polderman, Joyce Dragonchuck, etc. And we convinced to stand down instead of initiating a proper investigation.
Is that harassing to you?
I mean, that one probably not. I'm kind of confused as to exactly what's being said, but.
Well, maybe the next page, paragraph 23.
Barry unlawfully arrested Mr. Doherty based on more false pretenses presented by the corrupt receiver John Polderman, the very person Doherty had been trying to warn him about.
Is that harassing?
Yes.
I'm going to skip the bulk of the summary part for purposes of the time of day. So that takes us past page 220. Page 251. Top of it states 3/8/23 hearing with Dragonchuck and Polderman.
Right. So James Noyce and Mark Andrick are here in the audience who would later conspire against Doherty with Polderman to have him unlawfully arrested again.
And so the prospect that you conspired with others to have Doherty unlawfully arrested, is that true?
It is not.
And is that harassing to you?
It is.
Page 252, which is the next page, the top starts with Doherty : what's it say after that?
Mr. Polderman is perverting the truth once again.
And then
And it says he's a pathological liar and a master manipulator, and I need that on the record, whether you see it or not.
Was that directed to you?
If
If you can recall, it
yes,
sounds like it's referencing a hearing.
correct.
Is that harassing to you?
Yes, I see a transcript of the hearing above there, yes.
Page 255, top, which reads details of which Polderman intentionally perverted. Without going into great detail here, at the bottom of the page, you see where it says corrupt receiver John Polderman?
I do,
Is that harassing to you?
yes.
Page 257. This is VS or verse Polderman's ridiculous version.
Right.
Can you tell us, it looks like there's a screenshot. Is that an email?
It is,
And is that from you?
it is,
And then to the side, it's handwritten there. It says 5 false statements in 2 sentences.
right, not an easy thing to do.
And then it says not an easy thing to do. Is the fact that there's 5 false statements in 2 sentences, is that true?
That is not,
And so is that harassing to you?
yes.
Turning to page 260, the top of which indicates perverting justice. What's it say in the parentheses?
Polderman's specialty,
And then at the bottom, it refers to a very serious crime.
right, considered a very serious crime with a maximum sentence of life imprisonment,
And is that harassing to you?
yes.
Page 261 in bold, near the middle of the page says John Polderman is a very sick man. Is that harassing to you?
It is,
At the bottom, it says he's the very definition of a white collar criminal. Is that harassing to you?
yes.
Page, I skipped some, so I'm just gonna go to 273. At the top, can you just tell us what it says?
I will absolutely tell you what my problem with Mike is, and I will tell you right now. Mike has 2 channels: Law Talk with Mike, and then what is it? The Vlog Talk with Mike. Both channels are monetized. He plays the exact same content on both channels. He's double dipping on his audience, and he's accusing me of e-begging. Yeah, and I will tell you, I have. So I don't know. Last week when I did the marathon stream, yeah, I would admit to e-begging. Like that's kind of what that was. If I didn't need the money, I wouldn't have done that stream. And I understand where he's coming from, but I'm not double dipping on my audience. I'm not, if I started another channel with the exact same content, come on, and then you monetize that, and then you have members pay for the memberships, you're double dipping on your audience, man. You're e-begging. The fact that he streams live, I don't know, 12 hours a day, you're asking for super chats. That's why you're doing it. Sorry. I appreciate you. Damage man. I appreciate you. I probably shouldn't have said that, but no. I don't like that another YouTuber called me out on that, and it made me feel a certain way. Because I feel extremely guilty about it. I don't like doing this. I don't like asking for money. I don't. And then he called me out on it, and he's like, dude, you're doing the exact same thing. Just in a different way. That doesn't make it okay. Sorry, man.
It says the neutral receiver.
And when it says neutral, is there anything indicated with the word neutral?
Quotes suggesting that it's well, I'm not sure what it's suggesting, but it's in quotes.
That's speculation. We don't know why put the quotes in.
All right, sustained, move on.
At the bottom of the page, it reads after Doherty is taken away. Will you finish reading that part, please?
John Colburn, Mark Andrew, and James Noyes are seen shaking hands and celebrating in the back.
And then in bold, it says what?
Of whom would conspire together again 6 months later to have Doherty unlawfully arrested on 10/20/23.
Did you conspire with anyone to have Doherty arrested?
I did not.
Page 275 says without ethics. What's in the parentheses under that, please?
More of John Colburman's gang who shared similar character.
And then what is under that?
Without integrity, ethics, or pride, the true story of how Beryl Schwartz and his Lansing City Pulse publication undermined an entire city for greed, profit, and revenge. Soft cover.
And then, so at the top where it references more of John Polderman's gang who shared similar character in reference to the rest of this, is that harassing to you?
Yes.
Top of page 307 indicates, just read the top part, please.
Ex-employee James Noyes, who Doherty had to fire for drug dealing. AKA the same individual who became Polderman's lead witness against Doherty through the filing of false police reports on 10/14/23.
Was James Noyes an employee of Rebel while you were the receiver?
He was,
And did he deal any drugs?
not to my knowledge.
Is this document, page 307, harassing to you? Pretty much underneath.
Yeah, I mean, it references that I filed false police reports, which is not true, and that he learned how to abuse the system from Polderman.
Skipping ahead again, purposes of time, I'm going to show you page 311 now. Exculpatory evidence is
It helps when I unmute my mic. Sorry, I'm eating. I'm not used to. I usually eat during my streams. For those of you that don't know, one of the reasons why I'm not on camera all the time is this is my dinner time and I eat. Sorry, I just had. One of the reasons I'm not on camera. Do not worry about not being able to contribute. You watching and you engaging is all I want. That's all I want. There's a reason why I dropped my memberships from, what was it, $3.99 to $1.99? It's the lowest I could drop it. I don't e-beg. I'm not. I want you guys to have fun watching court with me. I love watching court. I am lucky enough to have for YouTube to have given me this platform to be able to make income off of you guys. But okay, let me explain it this way. YouTubers don't like talking about this, but I don't care. 75% of my income are views. It's 75%. So, most of my money is just you guys watching. That's all you guys need to do. If you enjoy my content, just watch. if you really enjoy it, hit the like button, do what you're doing, interact with the chat. That helps the engagement and helps push it out to other people. But 75% of the money I make off YouTube is just on views. And I want to get that up to like 90%. I don't like the fact that I have to, you know, in hard moments to be like, hey guys, I got to do this marathon stream. I don't like how I have to do that, but it's my full time job. So when times are tough, I got to do some things, and I don't like it. I don't like it, but I appreciate you just being here watching. Is like I said, 75% of my income is just you watching. So I appreciate you more than you know. So just that you're hanging out with us, you leaving this little comment in the chat, that's it. That is more than a super chat in my eyes. So I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
The title of this document. It just indicates that people were showing up with you to court hearings at the bottom. And while that's not, I'm guessing, harassing to you, do you have any idea what that reference is?
I don't. The only thing I can think of is that they were present at a show cause here.
Speculation.
Oh,
First thing you said was, I don't know.
All right.
okay, we'll skip it. That's
Yeah,
fine. Withdraw.
stay,
Let's go to page 312.
Legal Fiction, you did that during my epic speech. Thank you, Legal Fiction. I appreciate it, buddy. You've gifted 40 memberships tonight. Legal Fiction's awesome. Everyone go check out his channel, please. Please. We need to get him to 1,000. How close are you to 1,000 subs? We need to get him AdSense revenue. He's monetized now, but he's not fully monetized, which is something new. I don't know why YouTube does that. It's bizarre to me, but once he hits 1,000 subs, he can be fully monetized. He'll get AdSense revenue. So everyone, go check out Legal Fiction's channel. I'm waiting to see how close he is to 1,000. Alan, thank you for your 10 gifted memberships. All right, so we've gotten 30 gifted memberships over the past, I don't know, 5 minutes. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. Welcome to the 30 new members. Hopefully you're here. Hopefully you're here and you're checking us out. We are awesome. We're an awesome community. I don't always complain. I don't. I promise. I don't. I just don't like how other channels do things. Germager with a 5 gifted membership. Thank you, Germager. All right, we're just on a roll with gifted memberships. You guys are awesome. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for all the gifted memberships tonight, guys. I appreciate it. I'm not trying to come across as a complainer, but it's just sometimes you gotta speak, right? You gotta speak your truth. That's it. That's all I'm doing. You guys are awesome. Thank you.
Says criminal investigation and accessory charges sought for the following individuals as well: Mrs. Joyce Dragonchuck and Michael Lewicki of Ingham County, John Pilgrim of Simon PLC, and then it lists others.
Is that harassing to you?
Yes, because it suggests that I'm being investigated and criminally charged.
Speed things up here, page 315. What's the giant bold at the top say?
By the corrupt receiver.
Being referenced as a corrupt receiver, harassing to you?
Yes.
Starting with this page here on page 319 entitled Ingham County's Witnesses, 3 ex-employees Doherty had fired. A tabloid journalist with AIDS and an abuser Doherty had filed 2 PPOs against with Ingham County. Do you see your name at the bottom of the page there as well?
I do. So John Pilgrim, the guy Doherty filed 2 PPOs against us in fear for his life.
The fact that he references filing PPOs against you, is that harassing?
Yes.
technically true, he did file 2 PPOs against you, correct?
He did,
But they were not granted.
they were not.
Skipping to page 321. You know where it says illegally conspiring together once again,
Right.
and it has whose names there? Underlined?
John Holderman from Simon PLC was serving for the plaintiff.
And I'm looking right here.
Oh, Todd Haywood and John Holderman, with the arrows pointing to illegally conspiring together once again.
Is that harassing to you?
Yes.
There come a point in time where you were involved as the receiver that you were aware that Mr. Doherty had blamed you for the death of his sons, or the situation with regard to Revel with the death of his sons?
Yes.
You recall how that came about?
It was one of our first meetings. He mentioned that he had lost, or his wife had lost 2 children, and it was due to the stress of the loan relationship with the lender.
Legal Fiction, I'm sorry that you had to post that yourself. I see Phil posted it too. But yeah, this is Legal Fiction channel. Legal Fiction has a great channel. Body cam guy. Yeah. I don't know what else to say. He's got a great channel. Legal Fiction's been a great friend of the channel since almost day one. I don't know. Legal Fiction, I don't know what your doesn't matter. Legal Fiction's a mod. He's one of my best friends on the internet. Go support his channel, please. For everybody that has not just jumped over there and hit the sub button. Click that link. Click it. Do it. Do it. Do it. You'll like it. Legal Fiction's a great dude.
And in this filing, was there a reference to the death of his children?
There was.
Page 368.
Yes.
And then on page 369, twin boys, and has a picture. I think further into the document, it'll explain that Mr. Doherty was holding his children.
Right.
And then the page 370 is titled manslaughter.
Right.
Your name isn't on that document.
It is not.
And then page 371, he filed death certificates, but it's certificates of cremation for the 2 children.
Correct.
And then in page 372, the next page, he shows a Michigan compiled law for manslaughter.
Correct.
And then on page 373, bad faith, you just start reading that.
Bad faith after their first meeting, 2/23/2022 or 22. Floyd Gates tried to relate with Mr. Doherty 3 different times on his dead children within a 2-hour time period, to the point of being extremely awkward. Doherty assumed he was just socially off.
And then does your name appear on that document towards the bottom with the paragraph that starts with he did, if he didn't?
If he didn't, they had a plan B lined up to wrongfully appoint their connected receiver, John Holderman, as well.
So while not directly blamed for the death of his children, I suppose, in those documents, is that still harassing and troubling to you?
It is.
And is that troubling and harassing the totality of everything we've just gone through with the fact that you're an attorney and work with people who have access to Pacer?
It is.
Have you ever just Googled your name?
If that's supposed to be an insult, that's a term of endearment to me. You don't understand. My name's been Colin my entire life. People have been spelling my name this way my entire life. It's a term of endearment. So I don't know. Maybe you're just trying to say hi. I'm not sure. I know you, Mary Brown. You've been here for a long time. But yeah, I smile when I see that. It makes me feel good.
See if any of this comes up,
I have,
and what happens when you do that?
some of it does. Title of the lawsuit does.
I have no further questions, Your Honor. Thank you.
I need to take a break. Off the record for a few moments. Thoughts? Back on the record.
Your Honor, at this point in time, I've invited the other witnesses and victims into the courtroom. I had sequestered them. It's almost 5 o'clock. It's gonna be much of the same of what we just saw, so I'm gonna, from my belief, I've established harassment at this point, so I'm just gonna move on to the next.
Yeah, we know you established harassment. You asked every single person after every slide, is that harassment? Catherine, thank you so much for the Venmo. You are awesome. Catherine, I don't know which Catherine you are. Hold on. Nope, that's you. That is absolutely you. So, Catherine, thank you so much for the Venmo. I appreciate it. That's very generous of you. That's awesome. Thank you.
Topic after the cross. I don't think it's needed at this point in the day to belabor that point. So we're gonna just leave it at that, and then I'm allowing them back into the court.
Counsel?
Understood.
All right, we may proceed.
Pat?
All right, so now we're about to hear from the defense attorney, who was named in the lawsuit from his defendant. That's important because this guy still stands up and defends this dude. It's important.
It's Toby White, Mr. Polk.
Good.
I have a few questions for you. An easy one is, you don't have to be a lawyer, but you do have to pay to get on PACER.
The firm must pay for it, but that could be,
Okay. And tell me again, that how did you become aware of the lawsuit?
several people notified me that there was a filing of the lawsuit.
Those people would be?
Mr. Gates notified me, and I'm trying to think of who else did. I'm not sure the second person, but I know Mr. Gates did.
All right. And you've been through these countless witnesses, then, I'm sorry, exhibits, statements that were made and attributable to Michael Doherty. And you may have said they're harassing. Is that true?
It is.
Okay. Let me ask you this. In working with all of this, did you ever discuss any of the allegations that Mr. Doherty was making with anybody else?
I did.
And during those discussions, I'm sure that you or others said, this is crazy.
I'm sure that word was used over the course of time. We've been at this now for 4 years, so.
All right. And there was some commentary about fees. You did get paid for the work you did.
Mostly, I'm still owed some money, but I did mostly get paid. That was true.
Okay. And then some of this that has been shown here to the judge clearly falls in the range of harassment. I get that. That would be the case, except for one thing. We're lawyers. People call us names all the time. So why is this particularly harassment and not just annoying?
Well, that's a fair statement. I mean, I've been at this for 22 years, and receivers can often be the lightning rod for controversy because people don't like their stuff being taken from them and sold or liquidated. So part of that certainly comes with the territory, but in this case, it got progressively worse, right? There was actually, the relationship started off civil of Mr. Doherty and I, and somewhat cooperative, and then it degenerated. And then there was text messages that were harassing.
Okay.
Then it developed into, I think the first blow up was really with the sale of his home. He was angry about that. So he showed up in person to the title company, which was unusual, and tried to, I mean, I won't reiterate everything that's been filed with the court, but things then really took a downward spiral when he started emailing me probably almost daily. Then he would copy my staff, then he would copy the owner of the firm, then he started copying, it had to be over 100 people. I mean, he would continually accuse me of being a pervert. He attached photos of my uncle that had passed away, commenting on his appearance. Got into my personal Facebook page. It goes on.
All right, so that goes on and on.
So then,
And so
leading up to this lawsuit, which is kind of the crowning piece of that, after a number of years, it's reiterating many of the same things he said. So any one of those pages in isolation, I would agree with you, right? Okay, somebody says you did something right, it's not that big of a deal, but the cumulative effect of that over a number of years
is what brought this to be, okay, what brought it to your mind to be harassment?
that is correct.
All right, now, interesting, there was some contact with Michael Doherty's wife.
Correct.
Was she represented at that time?
Not to my knowledge. I don't know that anyone
Did
ever
you ask
had an
her?
appearance.
Did you say, are you represented?
Well, when that was sent, it would have been after we had had a continuous time of contact. So typically, as receiver, I'm also an attorney, but I'll have to step in and speak to people. So I spoke to Mr. Doherty, and he was represented, and that was fine with his attorney because we're talking about non-legal things, right? Who's going to pay the light bills? Your insurance lapsed? Who's going to be showing at work today? So Mrs. Doherty handled some of those administrative things. I don't believe, well, in fact, I know she wasn't represented by counsel because she wasn't a party to the lawsuit. So she would not have had counsel, never said, hey, you need to talk to my attorney, I'm represented by so-and-so.
All right, and do you know from your personal knowledge if any employees stole from Mr. Doherty's enterprise?
I'm trying to think. I'm not aware of anybody that stole from his enterprise. Well, I take that back. So there were some employees, none of whom are present here today, that I never physically saw them steal anything, but there was assertions and allegations that they had stolen some weed because it's a cannabis grow facility. So there was always suspicion that somebody would be putting product in a backpack or their pocket. So I do believe, even though I didn't witness, there was one employee, I don't even remember his name, where a number of people said they thought that person was stealing.
Okay.
And I terminated them.
All right. And who was the person you terminated?
I honestly couldn't tell you the person's name. I do know it was not anybody present in the courtroom today.
Okay. You are aware that Mr. Doherty has been at the forensic center 2 times.
I've been aware that he's at the forensic center, but I don't know how many times.
Okay. And you're also aware that he was there because he was deemed incompetent because of a psychotic break.
I've reviewed the entire federal docket, every pleading. that's been filed and at the Sixth Circuit Court of Appeals.
Mhm.
So I've gathered whatever I know is based on those pleadings. So I saw something with the forensic center and he was being sent back and forth. I generally am aware of that.
Okay. So we're clear about this. You were aware that he was going back and forth from the forensic center.
Yes,
And those dates, are you clear on those dates?
I am not.
All right, so those dates could have corresponded with the period of time when he was filing this mega suit with the feds.
My recollection, I
Don't speculate.
Yeah.
Phil, I am so sorry I missed this. Thank you so much for the. Wait, did I say thank you, Phil? I don't know. It showed up on my screen as I didn't say thank you, so I don't want to miss this. Phil, you are awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, bud. You are awesome. Welcome to the 5 new members. Yay! Yay! Sorry, guys. I'm trying to get through this. We watched a sentencing, and this is now the third time I've watched this case. So I'm trying to get through it. Not having the best weekend, as I said earlier. So sorry I'm not on video. Yeah. You know what? Phil deserves me being on video. Thanks, Phil. Appreciate it, bud. All right, let's keep going. Phil, you're awesome.
I don't want to speculate. I do know that when he filed this lawsuit, he would have been out of jail because he attempted to serve it on the prosecutor, which led to him being re-incarcerated.
Okay.
So yeah, when he drafted this, I don't know.
All right.
I don't know.
And you're aware that there was a period of time when he was deemed competent in between the two stays at the forensic center?
I don't know.
Don't know?
No.
Don't want you to guess. Your Honor, I'm going to confer for just a minute.
Me,
I don't know much about receiverships, but it's my understanding that a receiver is not allowed to take possession of someone's personal home.
So I'll try to be succinct because I could give you a half-hour answer. So there are a number of statutes that govern receivers. One of those is MCL 600.2926, which is a general appointment statute that says a judge has discretion on appointing receivers. There's another statute that references waste that's being committed on a property, and there's a mortgage, somebody holds a mortgage or assignment of rents. So that's another way that a receiver could be appointed over property. There's a mortgage and taxes aren't being paid. That's a separate.
All right, go watch Friday's stream after you do your research, because the sentencing was on Friday. I already played the sentencing because I thought I already played this. Now, I think I said this earlier, but what had happened was I had this video set up to play on a night where I canceled my stream, and apparently I never went back and played it. So when the sentencing happened on Friday, I was really excited, and so I played it Friday night. And yeah, I didn't play this because it was on a night that I canceled my stream. So yeah, so go watch Friday after this, after you do your research, because you'll get the full breakdown of the judge going off on the defendant.
Statute. Then you also have the commercial receivership statute, which is MCL 554.1011, which talks about appointment in the context of a default on a mortgage.
I appreciate that, man. I really do. I will say this: I don't disrespect Mike. I respect Mike for what he's built. He's the reason why I have a channel, and I'll always say that. I just the dude has kind of he's lost his way, and for for shitting on me the way he did, and all I did was ask about OSG was unacceptable. And I've got so much I want to say about it, so much, but I'm not going to because I'm better than that. All I'm going to say is what I just said. But I appreciate you being here, man. I know he's live right now. He changed his schedule around to go live exactly when I do, and it's destroyed my channel. But everyone that's here, I appreciate you. I really do.
And
I don't want to cut you off, but
right,
for his home, Michael Doherty's home, what was the statute and the basis for seizing it?
so his residence was actually not titled in his name personally. It was titled in the name of the company.
Okay.
And part of the authority that allowed me to sell his home, so the receiver order originally did not include his home.
Mm-hmm.
So there was litigation back and forth, and we had a settlement conference, I think just down the hallway, and we all got in a room and said, how can we resolve this? So there was a stipulated order that would allow Mr. Doherty a window of time to try to sell the business because and the real estate because he believed he had a buyer.
Okay.
So there was a stand down provision. And then as part of that, he stipulated, so he agreed to his house being included in the receivership and being sold and administered by the receiver. So it was part of a settlement order that he stipulated and signed off to and hit council president at the time. So I do understand that statute. I believe, without having it in front of me, that it's in the context of default on assignment of leases and rents or waste. But I can assure you that for 22 years, I have sold residences in receivership, mostly in divorce cases, where there's a judgment of divorce, court orders the property to be sold. Usually it's the husband doesn't want to sell it and refuses. The judge appoints a receiver and it's sold. So that goes on all day, every day in courts throughout the state of Michigan. I would also concede, though, that under that statute, it references someone's dwelling, but that was not the statute that I was appointed on. I don't even know if it referenced a specific statute, but he also stipulated and agreed to it in exchange for this window of time to try to sell the business and real estate.
Sir, we're not talking about just a stipulation and agreement. We're talking about him being part, Mr. Doherty being part of the full negotiation as well. This wasn't done between council and then he signed it. He was part and parcel of this whole package. Is that correct?
He was. I remember we walked into the
Pretty much this guy was a jerk. Massive harassment. They all worked at the same place. He started putting out these weird posts on the internet and started harassing everybody. He's charged with harassment. Go watch Friday's stream after this. This dude got like 10 years of probation for this case. It's not good. I mean, he threatened people's lives. He got 10 years of probation. He's not in jail. I actually feel like he's on an ankle monitor right now, which blows my mind. He's on an ankle monitor on probation. That's weird to me. I don't know for how long. But I remember he was the ankle monitor was a big thing, and the judge didn't release him off the ankle monitor, and then sentenced him to 10 years of probation. He harassed a bunch of people. He said some weird things. Like we saw the slides that he posted on the internet. That's what's going on.
side room. He was there and his attorneys were there.
Thank you. You may proceed.
Last thing, do you remember the approximate date of that agreement? Month and year, maybe?
Well, when was the house sold? It'll probably, I think it was, let's see. So if I was appointed in 2020, I was appointed in 2022. So we would have, in March of 2022, we would have reached that agreement. Maybe I would guess summer of 2022. And there was the default. I put the house up for sale. I want to say we sold it in February, March of 2023, so that would have been when he went to Ms. Krupp's office, so I'm a little hazy on my dates, but I know we had to have the house winterized and it was cold, and we had it higher and then sold it.
Right. That's all I have.
Redirect.
Thank you. Mr. Polderman, you were asked questions about being an attorney and having to, I suppose that opened you up to some form of harassment. Remember that question?
I do.
Was the fact that we went over was filed in a federal lawsuit also harassing in and of itself?
Yes.
No further questions. Thank you.
May this witness step down?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. I'm gonna see.
As I stated, I'm not going to call the other people.
All right.
I will call Miranda Gale from probation, Your Honor.
Thank you. Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide to be the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth, under penalty of perjury? Thank you. Have a seat. When you are comfortable, feel free to adjust the microphone. Please state, spell your name for the record.
Miranda Gale, Mirandagale.
Ms. Gale, were you employed?
Ingham County Probation.
And were you asked to supervise Michael Doherty during a bond delay of sentence?
That is correct.
And ultimately, was that delay of sentence supervision transferred to a different county?
Yes, it was Charlotte.
Thank you. Was there a point in time in April of 2025 that you learned that Mr. Doherty was in your office?
Yes.
Do you recall the specific date?
4/1/2025, I believe.
Were you aware of why he was in your office?
I believe I received a phone call from my supervisor as I was not in office that day. And she had informed me that he had sent or brought a subpoena to the Ingham County Probation Office.
And do you know what case that subpoena was in reference to?
It would be in the RICO case that he filed, the federal case.
The federal case, not the case that you're here on today?
Correct.
Thank you. I'm going to show you what's contained in my motion as exhibit number 2. And it's it's a court document. It's got the judge's signature on it. So I'm just I'll just do it from here. It's going to show you recognize what this is.
Yes.
And at the bottom here, you sent this up to Judge Aquilina, did you not?
Yes, I did.
And at the bottom, it appears as though Judge Aquilina signed that.
That is correct.
And she made some notes on it directing you to do some things.
That is correct.
And I hope it's showing up okay, yeah. Starting here, what did the judge write?
Cats can complete medical evaluation, and if not an option, we'll send to forensics.
And then what's next here?
If PSIR can't be completed in, I'm sorry, I don't know that word, please prepare verbal.
I think it says it can't be completed in writing. Please prepare verbal and come
to
court at sentencing.
That is correct.
So after you received this from Judge Aquilina, did you attempt to interview Mr. Doherty?
I did.
And what was the purpose of that? Was that for completing the PSIR?
It was, and to get a release of information signed.
In reference to the PSIR, did he cooperate with you?
No, he did not.
In reference to signing the release of information, did he cooperate with you?
No, he did not.
Would you explain to the judge a little bit about what happened when you went to go visit with him?
Yes, I went in 4/11/2025 and to the Ingham County Jail. And I asked him to sign the release of information and complete the PSIR. And he told me that he was not signing anything or answering any questions until I answered his questions.
And what did you do at that point?
I told him that I wasn't playing a game with him and that this was something court ordered and that I wasn't going to answer his questions for a signature or for answers to his questions.
What happened next?
He continued to decline and refuse to sign and answer questions.
How did the meeting or interview end?
It ended when he was visibly getting upset and the deputies kind of came over and I just said, all right, well, we'll have someone else come talk to you or you'll have to talk about it in court.
In your opinion or towards you, did you feel that you were being harassed and intimidated in any way?
I don't believe I was being harassed, but he was trying to intimidate me with probably his size and just the ability to want to get those answers. That's how I felt at the time, yes.
At some point in March or April of 2025, did you become aware that Mr. Doherty had switched doctors?
Yes,
And I don't mean counselors for therapy, I mean doctors that would be prescribing medication.
that is correct. I believe his agent from Charlevoix informed me that he had just found out that he received, or he was put on no medication or new medication, and he had to receive a new doctor, which is a family doctor.
Did you do anything after you received that information to try to confirm that back up in Charlevoix with the doctor?
I did. I sent a special because they had no power at the time, so the phones were out. It was like in the middle of like an ice storm up in Charlevoix. So I sent a special so that the agent in Charlevoix could try and like reach out to the doctor and talk to the doctor. From what I understand, they were closed also from the storm, I believe. And at some point I did receive a phone call back from them, and they informed me that there was no release on file and that they could not talk to me.
When you say you received a call back from them, who is that?
The doctor's office, but for the doctor, he reported.
And to your knowledge, was there an order of the court that Mr. Doherty was to continue with his counseling, correct?
Yes,
Continue taking his medication, correct?
correct,
And sign all necessary releases so that you could confirm that those things were being done.
yes,
And so what you're saying is when you called this purported new doctor, they wouldn't give you any information because there was no authorization or release of information on file.
yes, that is correct.
And it brought to your attention then that Mr. Doherty was told by this doctor, supposedly he could quit taking his medication.
That is what Mr. Doherty informs us. I can't confirm it with the doctor because I didn't have the release.
I have no further questions, Your Honor.
Ross?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
That exchange you had with Mr. Doherty that you just described, that was in April of what year?
2025.
Okay. And you were aware that he had psychological problems.
Yes.
And so from your own knowledge, do you know if he missed any counseling?
I'm sorry, what was it?
Counseling?
No, he did not miss counseling that I was never informed of.
Okay. And the same would be true in terms of he went to a doctor in Charlevoix.
Yes, I believe it was never reported he wasn't going to a doctor. I just believe we weren't aware there was a change in a doctor or which doctor it was.
Where did he change doctors from? He went right to Charlevoix.
I am unaware.
So I don't know why you're using the word change. I mean, he went to Charlevoix and signed up with a doctor, right? He didn't leave one from Lansing.
I wasn't supervising at the time, so I would not know.
Okay. Fair enough. And then Mr. Doherty did reference that he was working with the doctor to reduce the chemicals, to reduce the pills that he was taking.
I was informed of that by the other agent, yes.
All right. Okay. So when you come right down to it, you cannot tell the judge here that he switched doctors without permission. And you can't tell him that he wasn't taking his medication as prescribed or not prescribed by the doctor he was seeing in Charlevoix, right?
He would be required to inform us of any doctors he is seeing. And my only concern would be the Charlevoix doctor did not know that that doctor even existed. So then that's why there was no release and no updates while he was on probation from that doctor.
When did you ask him to sign an ROF?
He was asked at his initial orientation, so he would have done it in Charlevoix when he met his agent.
Okay. You have that document?
This time.
So you don't, again, you don't know from your own personal knowledge if he signed that for probation or not?
I believe that in the file in our system, there was a release of information signed by Mr. Doherty for Amanda Fettig, which I believe is his counselor.
Correct.
There is no doctor listed on the same ROI.
All right. confer for a second, Your Honor?
You may.
And you are aware that Mr. Doherty was experiencing a second psychotic break in that period of time, April of 2025?
I can, based off of his actions, I had concerns that there was something going on, yes.
So you won't dispute that?
No.
I think that's all I have, Your Honor.
Thank you. Redirect.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Gail, I'm going to show you what's marked as my exhibit number 1 to my motion, which is a document signed by Judge Aquilino. What's the date here at the bottom?
August 19th, 2024.
And if we look here, does it not say you continue counseling therapy, follow all recommended or all recommendations? I leave that to the court to decipher the writing, but it does next say, sign all releases so we can verify doing what needs to be done. Does it not say that there?
It does say that.
And again, in April of 25, when you called this new doctor or the original doctor that you found up north, there was no release sign, correct?
That is correct.
And so logically, correct me if I'm wrong, if he started with the doctor and was on his meds, that point in time, he didn't sign a release of information, correct? Because there's none there.
Correct.
And so if the doctor told him he could then wean himself off his medication and at some point he became incompetent, that's irrelevant because when he first started with the doctor, he presumably was on his meds because that doctor,
No, that's an argument.
according only to Doherty, told him he could wean himself off, correct?
Correct.
And you've never been able to verify that with the doctor.
I have not been able to verify that.
Thank you. No further questions.
Did you have follow-up briefly?
Just a brief follow-up. For Mr. Doherty and the ROI. The ROI is something that you or someone else, another agent, gives to him. Correct?
In the beginning, yes. If he was to get new doctors or something, he would have to have it signed and tell us and inform us he had a new doctor, and then we would have to fill out a new one.
Okay. And still, as we sit here today, I hate to beat this dead horse, but as we sit here today, you don't know that the Dr. Charlevoix wasn't his first medical doctor.
I don't.
Okay. And I got one more. Give me 1 second. And the squabble over the ROI that happened at the Hingham County Jail,
Yes,
that happened in this period of March 28th through April 3rd or 4th of 2025.
it would have been, when I went to the jail on April 11th,
Okay.
2025.
Very good. And at that point in time, you know that he had been recommitted and that he was having a psychotic break.
Yes,
Thank you, Your Honor.
Ma'am, so I wrote on this order that the people referenced, continue counseling / therapy, follow all recommendations by shorthand was Rex. I read it all day long. And sign all releases so we can verify doing what you need to be doing. That was signed August 19th, 2024, and ordered by this court. Let's suppose for a moment by April 11th, 2025, he's having a breakdown. Do you know how many releases he signed between now, or between the signing of my order on August 19th, 2024 and April 11th, 2025?
the only updated or uploaded releases, which is what I would have access to, which is from Charlevoix, is for the counselor, Amanda Bendick. There has been no other release signed and uploaded and give it to me for information.
So is it fair to say that you are surprised that there were other doctors because you have no knowledge of that?
That is correct.
And the minute that it's not signed, meaning the release is not signed, that is a technical violation, isn't it?
That is correct, Your Honor.
Well, I would just dispute terming it as a technical violation because that purports to probation and we're not.
I mean, I don't mean it as probation.
Technically
but
would be a
technically,
violation,
yes,
yes.
yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. You may proceed.
I just had one follow-up question. It's not just the fact that the release wasn't signed, correct? It's also that you didn't even know what doctor to contact until March of 2025.
That is correct.
Thank you. No further questions.
May this witness step down?
Yes.
Thank you. You may step down. Any additional witnesses?
I don't think it's necessary at this point, Your Honor.
Any witnesses?
May I confer for a minute? I know it's
Yes.
after 5. Let me confer for a minute. Your Honor, I have no witnesses this time.
Thank you. Argument.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'm going to be brief, the best that I can.
Around 1 minute. We're good.
I'm gonna be brief the best I can. You know what that says? It's not gonna be brief. He's gonna try, I guess.
Thank you. You may proceed,
Your
counsel.
Honor, it seems to me that the whole point of the questioning from Mr. White is that Mr. Doherty was experiencing a mental episode when that lawsuit was filed. I don't dispute that. But the bond conditions and the orders of this court were set up to prevent that. That was the whole point of all of it. He entered the plea in August of 2024, and we know by March of 2025, he's back at what he was doing prior to the first competency. And so I would purport to the court and submit to the court that the length and sheer volume of that filing in the federal court wasn't done in a day. So there had to be some time prior to the March 2025 that the defendant was off his medication. The problem we have is he violated the conditions of this court because he did not tell probation who his doctor is, nor did he sign the release. We still don't know whether or not that doctor took him off his medication, and perhaps he or she did, but that's the whole point. He didn't tell us, didn't tell probation, didn't do what he was supposed to do. For all we know, he took himself off the medication. For all we know, a doctor told him to do it.
Your Honor, I'm not allowed to speculate like that.
It's closing,
He has to put
It's
proof.
argument. I'll let you have yours. Let's get through this, unless you'd like me to call in dinner for everyone. Counsel, you may proceed.
I'll take dinner. Let's go. Let's go. Where are we ordering from? Well, what are we doing, Judge?
The whole point of this was set up, Your Honor, so that Mr. Doherty could prove to the court, prove to me, because I was the one who entered in the plea agreement, that he could do a year of taking his medication and not acting out in this way. It didn't take but a few months, August to at least March or sometime prior to March 20th, 25. And so that's why we're here. I allege that there were 3 violations. The harassing behavior of a protected party you heard from John Polderman. I'm not going to rehash all that, but to sum it up very briefly, he's an attorney being called a white-collar criminal. And that's filed in a federal lawsuit that anyone with PACER has access to. He showed up in court when this court, looking at the court's order, he was not to have contact with Ingham County unless it was from court, for court. Sure, they're going to argue that he was here for court because he was serving subpoenas. He was serving subpoenas to me or someone in my office and to the probation department for his federal lawsuit. You can't skirt the court's orders by filing what I will say it's a frivolous lawsuit. It's been dismissed with prejudice, and create your own court so that you can come to this county. When this court said, only come to Ingham County for court or attorney meetings. So he violated, in my opinion, for that. And this court, I didn't put any evidence on because this court's a witness to it because you revoked his bond on April 1st, ahead of my April 2nd emergency hearing to revoke bond because of the federal filing. So we have the harassing of a protected party, we have the being in Ingham County, and third, we have the fact that he didn't comply with this court's order for treatment, counseling, and medication. And anything that said that all these things happen during a mental break, I agree with, but the purpose of this was not to have mental breaks. And it was to let probation know what you're up to and what you're doing. But when you go to a doctor and you don't tell anyone that's your doctor, when you go to a doctor and you don't sign a release so they can follow up and find out what happened, this is where you end up. And so I'm asking the court to enter the 2 felony convictions. I believe the court, no matter what, has set a sentencing, I believe it's June 18. And order the defendant to work with probation to do the PSIR. And further, the last thing I want to order is that, again, he stay at the forensic center and hospitalized by the state to maintain his medication so that he is competent for sentencing so that we can finally put this case to rest.
Counsel?
I think I've been pretty clear, this is a mental case. This is not a criminal case. We're in a criminal court, I get it. But I think the point is that Mr. Doherty had a break. He lost twins, lost his business. You know, it all went south and went way south. And he started looking for answers in the wrong places and the wrong people. We know that from the nature of that enormous federal suit he filed and the papers that he filed with the 30th Circuit Court. However, we're not here to say, oh, look, he had this nearly technical violation and that nearly technical violation. Let's ruin his plea. We worked very hard on that plea. And for him to have a breakdown when, you know, like I said, in opening, it's a reverse. Normally we're standing here, my client's sitting there and he's like, I thought I had it licked. He's saying the same thing, but the difference is his having it licked was he thought working with his doctor, he could stop taking his medication. It didn't work out. I have had numerous conversations with the forensic center. They are firmly in the camp of get him set up with CMH in Charlevoix. His family has gone, found 2 competent psychiatrists, not a family doctor, so that he can be supervised properly. And that supervision could go well beyond any kind of probation that's instituted. What he has is a really, really tough problem. And so I think that we owe it to him to give him a second bite at the apple and to try to move forward. And so one day he will legally come down to this court and say, look what I've accomplished because of the sentence that you imposed on him and having the additional felonies versus the misdemeanors. You know, we know that it would be much better for him progressing forward to have those misdemeanors and not those felonies. And I would remind the court again that the harassment's there so far, but nobody was injured. Nobody even got close to being injured. Just words and silly pictures and things like that. So I would ask you to leave the misdemeanor in place, schedule a sentence hearing. I will have Lindsay Corso, who's working with him here at sentencing, and we can go from there and put him in the right program. And you've heard me say it before, guardrails. Let's get good guardrails this time. He was put in junk guardrails, and it's a shame, but that's why we're here, because of bad guardrails. We're not here because Doherty thumbs his nose at you or the probation office. Thank you.
Final word?
Yeah, I find it
Silly pictures. Silly pictures. We all saw those pictures, right? Those were just silly. My client didn't mean it, Your Honor. Yeah. Again, he got 10 years probation. with a ankle monitor. Don't know how long that lasts. Still, I still have that question. You got 10 years probation and got an ankle monitor. Does that mean he has an ankle monitor for 10 years? I don't know.
Defensive to say that what happened here hasn't hurt anyone. I think the court heard from Mr. Polderman. I think it's very injurious to him. And again, I think much of what was just said is really allocution for sentencing. And I sympathize. I do understand Mr. Doherty has mental health issues, but again, this whole thing was set up for him to succeed and he failed. And I ask the court to enter the 2 felonies and proceed. Thank you.
I've heard the testimony, I've seen the boxes of evidence, and of course, counsel and I have met numerous times on this matter. What I finally agreed to was this delayed sentence, so we could watch him. I finally agreed to allow him to go to Charleroi. I finally agreed to release him on bond and set up these parameters to continue counseling, therapy, follow the recommendations, sign everything, so we can verify he's doing what he needs to do. That was for his protection as well as the protection of the victims, the community, everybody. Long before April 11th, when the breakdown occurred, even if it occurred a month prior, I don't know when it started exactly. Clearly by April 11th, we do have testimony that there was a clear breakdown in mental health. He takes it upon himself to not inform us, as I ordered, of doctors. I don't know, and we can't verify what he did or did not tell the doctor. All I ever want, and I believe I explained this to everybody, probation doesn't ask to violate HIPAA, but wants to know who the doctor is, you're taking your medication, following all your recommendations, all of those things. We couldn't even do the very basics of getting a name of a doctor to even verify he went to a doctor, which clearly violated my orders. Then we get into this harassing behavior that includes, he's not supposed to show up in court. And it's a flimsy excuse to say I had to show up to serve, because he didn't have to show up. That's why we have process servers. Could have entered the court through a process server and filed whatever documents he wanted. It's his right to file if he feels offended by something. Clearly, the federal court agreed there was nothing there. But nonetheless, he didn't just stretch the order, he broke that order. There were options that were viable. He chose not to avail himself of those. He chose himself not to sign the required releases. And then he does not follow up with the proper treatment, counseling, mental health, and there is a decline, which we knew would happen, which is just the sole reason everybody worked together for this agreement. And I agree with the prosecutor to say that Mr. Polderman was not injured is ludicrous. And I know, counsel, that happened.
You know nothing, John Merger. You know nothing. Appreciate the super chat. Finally comfortable enough to tell you all my name is John. Thank you for the safe space. I appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. I enjoy watching your channel mainly because I quit playing Elden Ring. It's late. I'm sorry. I quit playing that game a long time ago. I played through it once. I'm like, I'm never playing this game again. Shows you the type of gamer I am and the type of gamer you are. You're awesome, my friend. Cheshire Cat, thank you so much. And I hope that you get better soon. I'm glad you're here. I really am. Thank you for the super chat. You and Germager. Sorry. Do I have to call you? Do I have to call you John now? I like calling you Germager because I know that's not your name, but Germager just that's what I know you as. You know nothing, Germager.
to you, you'd be the first one in here saying, you gotta stop this, we need a gag order, we need this or that, because it's ruining my reputation. To call an attorney a white collar criminal, corrupt, to interfere with his Facebook, call him unethical, a criminal, accuse him of manslaughter, all the things that went on are above and beyond just a little lawyer joke. Very serious allegations, every single one of them can ruin an attorney's reputation, and all we have, and you know this, sir, is our good name. And once it is soiled, you can't get it back. And you did everything you could to undermine not just Mr. Bolderman, but Judge Dragonchuck. And by the way, she's not my favorite person. But I don't care who it is. The treatment of her, the treatment of counsel, the treatment of so many people speaks volumes. I understand that you lost children, and I have twins. I can't tell you how much I bleed for you, but that was God's hand. For whatever reason, he gave you a gift and then took it back. It had nothing to do with any criminal activity. And for anyone to be accused of such a heinous act is deplorable. And while you may not have been in your right mind when we got these thousands of papers from you, we did everything we could to make sure that you would stay in your right mind, that you would take your medication, that you would see the proper doctors, that if we thought you were falling off the wagon, we could help put you right because we had the information. You had 2 probation agencies, Ingham County and Charlevoix, following you, monitoring you, but you didn't help them help you. I compromised on these bond conditions to no avail. They failed. And I'm sorry about that. I apologize to all of your victims for that. Maybe I should have left you in lockup. Maybe I should have left you at the forensic center. I feel horrible about that. Because maybe if we would have left you there, this plea would stand and you would have the misdemeanors. But sir, you have violated in so many ways before you became mentally ill. But I do find that you ended up being mentally ill because you didn't follow the orders of the court in many, many, many ways. You are in violation of the orders of the court. You are in violation of this agreement, and the 2 felonies will stand. You have broken the agreement. So I need you to work with probation to complete that pre-sentence investigation report. The question is, where do you do that? Are you on your meds now, sir?
I am.
And where are you living?
Charlotte.
And who are you treating with?
Well, as far as I'm in the forensic center right now, but I want to go back to Charlotte. So you're asking me who?
So do you have a plan with the forensic center in terms of treatment?
Yes, ma'am. We, Lindsay Corso, who I believe is part of this hearing, she has a plan ready to go. They need a few days to put it together. So as long as they get a release date, as soon as they do, we have a psychiatrist lined up and CMH, all that stuff. And Your Honor, I have learned, and I do apologize to this court and everyone involved, that this was not my intention. I had obviously been hurt a little bit, but I look back, I realize the errors, and I do apologize. And I'm looking to just move forward with this whole thing. I did have a psychotic break here. Ms. Gale, I apologize to you. Our interaction wasn't the greatest on 4/11, but I was ultimately scared, locked up again, the last place on earth I wanted to be. And really, truly, to the other victims, I apologize as well. My intention was never to hurt others. only to stop being hurt myself. And I know I didn't go about that the greatest way, but I know that now. And now I'm back on the medications. I've had great counseling. Randy Berman, I apologize to you as well here, because I know him and my attorney, Mr. White, worked really hard on this plea deal with yourself, Your Honor. And so last thing I want to do is let anybody down. And that's why I would really appreciate one final consideration into letting me have one more go at this. You know, the felonies, I'm an architect and a professional at my core, and having those felonies on the record for the rest of my life or however long, it's going to be really detrimental to me, my mental health, all the above. And I would really ask the court to at least just consider giving me one more shot at this original plea.
So I'm not going to do that. And, you know, if you can stay clean for, 5 years, you can certainly have it expunged, but the message has to be sent. You really need to be on the top of your game. If you had cancer, you'd be going to chemo and taking all that medication. You need to stay on your medication. To go to a doctor and convince a doctor that you can do it without medicine, and that doctor doesn't have your full history, and we don't know that doctor, that speaks volumes that you want to take control of this. And sir, you've hurt so many people. I would not be doing my own job if I were to let these misdemeanors stand after all of this. You know, you are the nicest guy when you're on your meds. You make perfect sense. You've apologized. I've seen so many criminals, you know, probably 90% of them do not apologize. I appreciate that you're taking responsibility, but sir, you've got to stay on your meds. So we're going to watch you and work with you, and I'm not going to let you.
Yeah, that's exactly true. I have no idea. I just wanted to pause to thank you for the super chat. Thank you, Cheshire Cat. Appreciate it, bud. Appreciate it. Cheshire, they just replaced all of the cables in my building. All the cables. Every single one of them. Everything is replaced. You have fresh new cables. Enjoy.
Out until sentencing when I see a plan, and it can be in Charlevoix, but again, I want the doctors, I want verification. I want a solid plan in place that you agree to follow, and we're going to watch you for the full 5 years. And you know, if you do well.
They have it ready, Your Honor, just to let you know, they have the plan ready, they just need an outdate as soon as they give the outdate.
The update would be if everything goes well and everything's in agreement and there's safety plans and all of that, it will be the day of sentencing. But I don't have a crystal ball, so could that change? Yes. I hope it's the day of sentencing, sir. You don't need to, we have other people who need to take up the bed space. I need you on your meds. I need you at the top of your game, and the assurances that you're gonna stay there. I deal in evidence, and the evidence I see here is a problem. So again, sir, I see a lot of mental illness. The problem with you is that we worked so hard to make sure you were going to stay on top of your game, and you sort of blew it all up. And I understand you have a lot going on, but I need some assurances. All your victims need assurances. You actually instilled fear in very strong people. And a reasonable person would feel fearful with what you did while you were not on your meds. So it's important you stay on your meds. We have this period to make sure that you are on your meds. June's right around the corner. We have a sentencing. I need you to work with probation to get a good pre-sentence investigation report, a handle on your plan, your doctors, your meds, all of that. And then am I willing to let you try that plan out? Absolutely. Okay, you deserve to have a life outside of jail, outside of prison, outside of forensic center, if you can abide by the rules. And if you can't, it's a problem. And we'll deal with that then. So what is the sentencing date?
June 18th at 1 o'clock. Currently, I believe the bond status is still revoked. And
Still revoked, or we'll address bond on June 18th, 1 o'clock.
defendant is to be returned to the.
return to the forensic center to continue on his meds and to put a plan in place with his doctors there, his Charleroi doctors and probation there and in Charleroi. So everybody's on the same page. Sir, this is for you, whether you believe it or not. Things don't happen to you, they happen for you. This hopefully is your last psychotic break. You get a handle on it and your life will soar. You certainly are talented. So let's stay on the meds and show the world your talents, not the demise of you.
If I can say one, the felonies, is there, Mr. Berman, is there any way?
No.
And even
No.
the other victims here, guys, I honestly, we were good at one point. I heard each of you, if you don't mind.
I do mind. Here's the thing. I don't play let's make a deal. I already did that and it fell flat. And you are asking victims to feel sorry for you. Feeling sorry for someone is not an element of any crime. It's not part of the negotiation after I've done my orders. And quite honestly, sir, there's laws that the prosecutor can bring and we can have another hearing if you wish. But with a valid plea and a valid plea agreement, my hands are tied. I have found you in contempt. I have found that you violated it. So we have a valid plea and the felonies will enter. And so let's make a deal is way off the table. It's a game show. Feel free to watch it, but not in this courtroom. Anything else for the record?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Nothing, thank you.
Thank you. That's all for the record.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yay! And we saw how that ended. We saw. Oh, hold on. Sorry, I was kind of lounging a little bit, just listening. It's like I said, this is my third, maybe my fourth time watching this hearing, and I thought I played it. I thought I did. This one was interesting enough to play, and yeah, like I said, I did not play it. So yeah, if you want to watch the sentencing, I played that on Friday, a little bit backwards, but we had fun, right? Yay, we had fun. Yay! All right, that's all I got tonight, guys. That's all I got. Tomorrow night, Members Monday. Members Monday. I don't know what else to say. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for the gifted memberships tonight. A lot of gifted membership hiccups. Hold on. Water is so good. Whoever invented water, you're amazing. Thank you guys for the super chats, gifted memberships. I don't think we had any membership milestones tonight. No, we did. Mary Brown, did I miss your? I think I missed it. I know I missed it because I made a comment about something you said earlier. I'm so sorry I missed your 21 months, Mary Brown. Hopefully you're still here. I am sorry I missed that. But thank you. You guys have a great rest of your evening. We're not going to rate anyone. It's Sunday night. It's late. I'm just going to go to bed. I'm tired. This was a long one, especially for a Sunday night. Long weekend. I cannot wait to get back to court tomorrow. Members Monday tomorrow night. That's all I'm going to say. You guys are awesome. Have a great rest of your evening. Goodbye. Thank you. Oh, I didn't think the mods. Mods, thank you so much for all your hard work. You guys are awesome. Okay, I'm out. Okay, bye.